Great. So welcome and thank you for taking the time to attend this presentation. I'd like to let you know that I'll be recording this presentation and putting it on YouTube tonight or tomorrow morning and sending out the link to all the parents, teachers, and students. So if you'd like to view some of the information again, or if you'd like to share it with anybody in your family to view, you can do that. By the end of next week, I'll also send out a package which has some final details on your trip, and this will include the packing list, the itinerary, and welcome letters from your two Me to We trip facilitators. So keep an eye out for that email. My name is Prasha, and I am your Client Experience Coordinator at Me to We in Toronto, Canada. So my role is to make sure that you have everything you need in order to travel and make sure you are prepared for your journey. So if you ever have any questions about your trip leading up to the day that you depart for the Amazon, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I have my contact details at the end of the slide, and you probably have received a couple emails from me as well, which has my contact details. Just a little agenda for what we'll be discussing today. So I'll start off with some information that you should know before you go, such as safety, rules and policies, and your packing list. Then we'll discuss your flights and then your experience in the Amazon. And during the presentation, there'll be sections where you can ask questions as well, and I'll be able to answer them. So before you go, there are a couple things you should know. The first one is travel insurance. So Me to We requires that you have travel, medical, trip interruption, and trip cancellation insurance. You have probably heard this from me in other emails, but just to reiterate, because you are located in Trinidad, I unfortunately cannot purchase insurance on your behalf, so you do need to purchase travel insurance. If you have not purchased your travel insurance yet, please do so within the next week to ensure that you are covered for your trip. If you have purchased your insurance and you have not submitted it to Me to We, you can send an email to me as soon as possible. And as long as it has the insurer's name, the policy number, as well as an emergency contact number for the insurance provider, that is sufficient for us. As of May 1st, in order to enter Ecuador, you do need to provide proof of medical insurance, and this just needs to be a copy of your policy, which has, again, the name of the insurance provider, the policy number, as well as the claims number for the insurance. So if you have a printed copy of that along with your passport, you are good to enter Ecuador. I will also be sending that to our team in Ecuador, and your facilitators will have that information as well. So if you do need it, it will be available. In terms of safety, safety is our top priority at Me to We. We take safety extremely seriously. It is top of mind throughout your trip, before, during, and after your trip. And over the next couple slides, I'll go over some of the safety procedures we have in place. Before your trip, we have our amazing risk management team here in Toronto who are dedicated to monitoring the Canadian, American, British, and Australian travel advisories, and they do this on a regular basis to ensure that all of the areas that we travel to, as well as any of the areas that you'll be stopping over and transiting in, are safe as well. We will never run a trip if it is deemed unsafe. We also have our Me to We emergency phone number, which is listed here. There are staff on call 24/7, Me to We staff on call 24/7 in case of emergencies at home or while on the trip. So if you do need to contact your loved one in case of an emergency, you can call this number and someone from our team will be able to either pass on the message or put you in touch with your loved one. If it is not an emergency, you can contact me directly, either by phone or email, and I can pass the message on to our team, who will then be able to pass it on to your loved one. All Canadian and American participants are also registered with their respective embassies. During your trip, you will have two Me to We facilitators on your trip, and I'll talk about them a little bit more during your experience part of the presentation. But all of our facilitators are trained and certified in emergency protocol training, as well as advanced facilitation training, so they are fully prepared for any situation. All of our facilitators are in constant communication with our country team as well, so they carry satellite phones with them and contact our country team on a daily basis to let them know that what's going on with the group, if everything's okay, if there's any information that needs to be passed on to the parents, that is also provided to the country team and then to my team here in Toronto. We also have medical clinics of Western Standard within 30 to 40 minutes drive of all of our accommodations. And there's actually a health clinic within walking distance of the Minga Lodge in the Amazon. It's about a 5-minute walk from your accommodations in the Amazon. There are also 24-hour security guards that monitor all of our accommodations as well to ensure that you are safe during your trip. We want this to be an all-inclusive and an immersive experience. So we do have a couple of rules and policies that we would like you to follow on trip. The first rule is, regardless of their age, trip participants may not smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, use illegal drugs, or purchase any related paraphernalia. The second rule is participants may not engage in romantic or sexual activity with anyone for the duration of the trip. And the third rule is to have respectful attitudes and behaviors at all times. And this is not just to the community members and your facilitators, but also to your teachers, the staff, as well as yourself. So if you're not feeling well, please tell your teachers and your facilitators, and they are there to help you. We have 2 policies as well that we would like you to follow on trip, and the first is our gift giving policy. The reason why our trips are possible is because we have a strong partnership with the communities that we work in. And there is a team in each of our countries that is dedicated to working with our communities all year round to foster this partnership and maintain it. We have found that providing donations or giving gifts to community members it alters this relationship that we have, and we like to say we give a hand up and not a hand out. So although we appreciate the intention behind bringing gifts and donations to community members, we ask that you do not bring any gifts or donations, but you bring your enthusiasm and your time and dedication to learning more about a new community and helping the community in projects that you'll be working on. In terms of our photo policy, we ask that on the first full day that you are in the community that you do not take any photos, but you take the time to build a relationship and foster a relationship with community members and learn their name, learn a fun fact about them. And we also ask that when you do take a photo of anybody, that you ask for permission and get consent. One of the rules that I like to follow on trip to follow the photo policy is if you take a picture and you can name every person in the photo and a fun fact about them, you've taken an amazing photo. And this also allows you to have a great memory with every photo that you take. In terms of packing, we do get a lot of questions about the packing, so I'll spend a little bit of time on some of the packing do's and don'ts. We ask that you pack all of your items in a hiking backpack or a duffel bag, and this is to ensure that you're able to carry your items with you. You will need to carry your items from the transportation to your accommodations, and rolling bags are not that feasible, or they're hard to maneuver in the Amazon, so having something that you can carry easily is key. For the volunteer build site, we ask that you wear long pants, long loose-fitting pants, a t-shirt, and comfortable sturdy running shoes or closed-toed shoes. The reason why we ask you to wear long pants is on the build site is to ensure that you're being protected, that your legs are being protected and covered while you're on the build site. And having comfortable sturdy shoes that are closed-toed are also good to ensure that you're protected. Comfortable clothing and light layers are the way to go. It can get a little chilly in Quito, so it's always good to have a couple light layers, and at night in the Amazon there are times when it can get a little bit chillier, so having a light sweater or a light jacket is great. You'll be doing a lot of walking and exercise while you're in the Amazon, so having comfortable clothing that is loose-fitting, sweat wicking material, quick dry material, those are very good to bring with you. Shirts must cover your shoulders and chest, and your shorts must reach your knees. And this is to ensure that we are respecting the community members. Most of the communities that we work in are a bit more conservative in their dressing. So we do ask that you do cover your shoulders and chest, and that your shoulders do reach your knees. In terms of spending money, We ask that you bring no more than $200 US in spending money, and this is to purchase souvenirs along the way, and also if you'd like to purchase any snacks at the airport while you're in transit, you can use this money for that as well. Ecuador does use US dollars, so you do not need to convert any money. iPods and music players are great for travel. We just ask that you put them away during programming to ensure that you are being respectful of your facilitators and the community members. So please make sure to put them away during programming. Having a camera so you can take tons of photos, and having bug spray and sunscreen is very essential in the Amazon. You'll be in the heart of the jungle, so having bug spray with you is great. We recommend bug spray with DEET, and your facilitators will remind you to continuously spray yourself and make sure you are protected. All of our accommodations have mosquito netting as well over the beds, doors, and windows, so you are protected at night.
Prasha,
yes.
Before you go on, when we arrive in Quito, is there some sort of visa or something like that that each person needs to pay?
No, there is no visa or fee to pay when you enter.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so they'll just stamp your passport as long as it's under, I believe, a 30-day stay. They just stamp your passport and you are good to go.
Okay.
Great question. In terms of packing don'ts, we ask that you do not bring leggings, yoga pants, or skinny jeans. It can get very humid in the Amazon, so having clothing that is tight-fitting or sticks to your skin is not very comfortable, so please do not bring leggings, yoga pants, or skinny jeans. Please avoid clothing with offensive logos. And as I mentioned, your shirts must cover your shoulders and chest, and shorts must reach your knees. Please do not bring any gifts for the community, and try to leave all valuables and electronics at home, and this is to ensure that they are safe and they don't get lost along the way. Are there any other questions at this time?
Students, if you all have any questions, now is the time to ask if you have any questions at all. Okay, guys?
Other than skin, having normal jeans are fine, but I don't know.
Would that be okay, Prasha? So, for example, for traveling purposes,
Yeah.
if we decided, because we are going to, I'm going to suggest to the parents. One parent knows about it already, but the others don't as yet. That we get some jerseys for the group that sort of makes us look as though we're a group. That we're not just all sorts of individuals. And there will be long sleeves, so it's appropriate for the traveler, as well as they can use it in the Amazon if they wanted to. And they're the dry fit kind of material, so it's that kind of material that will dry easily and whatever. So it's appropriate. But if they wanted to wear jeans, just regular jeans, is that okay?
Yeah, that is totally fine. Yeah.
Any other questions? Students, any questions? No? Well, is there I mean, we're not going to be there, we're away for 10 days. What about, so how many pairs of pants do you suggest that they pack? Is it 2 pairs plus the pair that they're wearing, that kind of thing, or what do you suggest?
Yeah, so for 10 days, I would recommend bringing between 3 and 4 pairs of pants, having 1 pair of pants that are just for travel, and then another 2 to 3 that you can use on the work site. There are no laundry facilities, so if you would like to wash your clothes while you're there, you can do so. You just need to bring some laundry detergent with you, biodegradable laundry detergent. But oftentimes for the build site, people will wear basically the same clothes over and over again to make sure that not all of their clothes get dirty at all times, but having a couple changes would be good. So about 3 to 4.
All right, and so all right, so using that as a guide, it would sort of determine the number of jerseys that they would be wearing or bringing with them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I suppose if they bought a jersey for each day that they're going to be there, because jersey is something that you change probably every day, whereas pants you won't, right? I mean, depending on what you're doing in when we're up the Amazon, depending what we're doing, we could probably. I mean, I can see myself. I'm quite comfortable wearing the same pair of pants more than once, kind of business. Depending on, I mean, if I'm in the mud or whatever, then yeah, I may change or whatever. And I do know that if that Meet2We will also provide us with boots, right?
Yeah.
With right. So then you have those to wear, so you don't have to worry about that, and then whatever. So I would say a jersey per day, so you can change your jerseys or whatever, and well, otherwise and whatever, and then that should work, right?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Yeah, so rubber boots are provided at Mingo Lodge. So we do have between size 5 and 12. So if you do fall above size 12 boots, you may need to, I would suggest bringing an extra pair. There may be 1 or 2 pairs of size 13, but I don't want to promise that just in case things get misplaced at Mingo Lodge or they're being used. So if you are above the size 13 in your shoe size, or sorry, a size 12 in your shoe size, I would suggest bringing a pair of rubber boots with you.
Hi. All right, so the flight goes Trinidad, Panama.
There you go.
And then Panama to Quito. So when we're going, there's the layover in Panama is not a very long layover. I think it's a couple of. I actually have one of these for each of you. It's a. Oh, look, that is there.
Yeah, so it's about two hours roughly.
Yeah,
just
about
under
2 hours. Yeah, coming back, our layover is a little longer, which is actually better. Is good because we leave Quito at 6 o'clock in the morning, some ungodly hours, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Any student restrictions they have? Can we take Ashley for the pan?
Yes, you can. Do you?
I just did this by.
Is there? I mean, well, the thing is, I mean,
But I guess
2 hours is not really long. Actually, there's more time on the way back, and so they'll be able to purchase stuff on the way back. And I think that's a better time for them to be purchasing anything because then they're heading home anyway. Right, Prasha?
Yeah. So it's better to purchase things if you're purchasing souvenirs in the airport. It's better to do it on the way back, so you're not carrying it with you when you're going to Ecuador. The bags can be tossed around as you're being transporting them from your buses to the accommodation. So it's always better, in case you're buying anything that's more fragile, it's better to buy it at the end.
And it's also better because of the weight factor, because you don't want to have to be lugging weighted duffel bags or whatever it is around with you. I mean, they're going to realize eventually, the students are at least, well, me too, that you have to be lugging your bags with you. So you have to be smart about it, I suppose.
Yeah, and there'll be sometimes when you're in the Amazon, there's actually a Meet2We store at Mingo Lodge, the Tienda, so you can purchase a lot of souvenirs there as well if you'd like to. So they have chocolates, bracelets, coffees. There's clothing as well if you like. So there's a variety of different things that you can purchase there as well.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, and it's the Tienda is really cool because all of the products are made locally by the women that you'll be meeting in the communities. So you can kind of see, if you see a bracelet, you're able to tell it's from this community and this is the person who made it. So it's really cool. You get to make those connections while you're there.
And they would be able to purchase those things while we're in the Amazon, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you'll have a couple opportunities, I believe, during while you're staying in the Amazon at the Mingo Lodge, where you can go in and purchase items. So, yeah.
Okay. One there. Sorry.
On this end, is there going to be community transport to the airport, or is everybody on their own to get to the airport?
We before we leave, we'll talk about that. Because I do want everybody to sort of be together, and I don't want people to get left behind kind of business. So we'll talk about that before we sort of breakfast. You had a question, sorry.
Yeah, I just wondering what the food must be like. Sugar or a little substance.
Okay. One parent, Prasha, has a question with regards to the type of food, yeah, that would be served at the lodge.
Yeah.
If some people have like dietary, preferences,
Restrictions and needs. Of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, in terms of meals, at the Minga Lodge, everything is prepared on site by Midwi chefs. So they have a list of all of the dietary restrictions and allergies on hand. And they are able to provide, they're able to accommodate virtually any dietary restriction. If there is an allergy to nuts or if someone's vegetarian or doesn't eat certain meats, that is totally fine. We can accommodate any dietary restriction or need. So the facilitators will have a copy of all of the dietary restrictions, and the chefs also have that. So our meals they're served buffet style or family style, so you can choose what you would like. And they're kind of a mix of Western style as well as some Ecuadorian food as well. So for breakfast, it would be things like eggs or cereal and toast. Lunches are usually sandwiches and fresh fruit. And then for for dinner, it's heartier, like pastas, lasagnas, plantains, beans and rice, things like that. So there's a variety of different options that you can have.
Well, no, I don't think so. No, and the thing is, when everybody had the forms to fill out, those forms that it was indicated on those forms for parents to fill out and let the we know if there were any sort of medical issues or meal preferences and that sort of stuff. So that should all be taken care of.
And if there's anything that you think of that you may have forgotten to put on the application in terms of the dietary or medical restrictions, you can go back into the application and fill that in again, just to add some items, or you can send me an email with those anything else you think of that you may have forgotten, and I can pass that on to our team.
Any more questions, parents? I have one for everybody. Anything else, Tasha, that you need to now you say, I'm just reading what you have here, and well, we're going to discuss about everybody arriving at the airport at least 3 hours before the flight, and our flight leaves at 5:30ish around, so yeah, we'll organize that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I get a copy of the passport photo page for each of the students, as well as a copy of their insurance. So the kids will have their own copy, as well as I will make sure that I have copies for everyone. So I will have my own little sort of folder with all of that information in it as well.
Great.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool. So talk about your facilitators, who I mentioned a little bit earlier. As I mentioned, you will have 2 Midwi facilitators on your trip, and they have extensive experience working with youth and teachers on a mentorship capacity. So they will meet you at the airport in Quito. As soon as you exit the baggage claim, they will be there with a big sign that says Maple Leaf International, and they'll be with the group for the duration of the trip. So from the moment you exit the baggage claim to the moment you are checking back onto your flight to head back home. So you'll have 2 facilitators on your trip. Stephen Donnelly, who you may recognize, I believe he's given a presentation to the parents before, but he is one of my near and dear friends who works here in Toronto. So I know you'll have an amazing time with him. And Pilar, who you see in the top right of the picture at the bottom. And Pilar is a native Ecuadorian woman, and she works all year round in Ecuador as part of our Midwi team. So you are going to be in amazing hands with them. And they also have welcome letters, which I'll be sending out to the group sometime next week once we have the finalized package. Along with your facilitators, you'll also have your expert guides. So there is an entire team in Ecuador behind you on your trip. So there is our country team who is there supporting our facilitators and supporting the group, making sure you have everything you need. You also have your cultural guides and your jungle guides who are locals in the Amazon, and they speak the local language of Quechua, so they act as translators. So if you ever have any questions for community members, your cultural guides will be there to help translate and answer any questions. And if you have any questions about the cultural guides and jungle guides are always open to answering any questions. So if you have any question and you want to learn more about their lives, you are more than happy to ask them, and they are always happy to answer questions. In terms of transportation, this is an example of one of the buses, typical buses that we use. So we partner with a third-party travel transportation company that we've used for over a decade now, and they provide all of our transportation to and from all of our accommodations and activities. So these are private buses, so you will be the only people on this bus. All of our drivers are trained mechanics as well, so they are always ensuring that the bus is running smoothly and making sure that you are safe. And all of our buses have seatbelts and will not run until everybody is wearing a seatbelt. On your first day, you will spend your time in Quito. You will check in, once your facilitators pick you up from the airport, they will take you to your accommodations in Quito. And we partner with a couple of different hotels in Ecuador. So I'll be able to provide you with the name of the hotel shortly once the team confirms the correct address. But all of our accommodations in Quito are unique in their own way. So as you can see, this is one of the hotels that we use, and there is a jungle in the middle of the lobby. So all of our accommodations are very unique, and you'll get a chance to explore your accommodations. In terms of the rooming, all of our accommodations fit between 4 to 6 people per room, and they are separated by gender. So girls will be with girls and boys will be with boys. So this is the rooming and accommodations in Quito. You'll also get a chance to do some cultural immersion while you spend your time in Quito. So you'll get a chance to do a historical walking tour of Quito, which is a World UNESCO Heritage Site. So you'll get a chance to learn more about the rich cultural history, and as you walk around, I believe it's a 2 to 2.5 hour walking tour that's guided. So you'll get to learn more about Quito and the history and culture behind the city. You'll also get a chance to visit the equator at the Equator Museum. So you'll get a chance to do some neat experiments using the forces that make the equator. And you'll get a chance to do a really cool photo op where you get to stand on both the North and South Hemisphere at the same time. Very few people get to do it, so it's a really great opportunity to take some photos. Getting to the Amazon. So you will take your private bus and you will drive to the local town of Tena, which is about a 4 to 5 hour drive depending on the number of stops that you take. And once you get off at Tena, you'll actually take a motorized canoe. So the motorized canoe is the way of life in the Amazon and on the Napo River. So all of our motorized canoes are owned and operated by Midowee, and they are all outfitted with life jackets and will not run until everybody is wearing a life jacket. So this is the way of transportation, getting to your accommodation, to the community, to different activities in the Amazon. So you'll get very accustomed to traveling by boat. After a quick ride from Tena, you will arrive at your home away from home, which is the Minga Lodge. So this is a view of one of the dining pavilions at Minga Lodge. And these are just a couple of other photos. So on the right, you'll see one of the cabins that we have. So there are numerous cabins that are attached together or connected together with wooden walkways. So the Maple Leaf International Group will be in close quarters with each other. So you'll have a group of cabins together. One question that we get a lot is, will you see other people or interact with other people at Minga Lodge? And the answer is yes. You'll see other people, other travelers there. All travelers are Meetawee travelers, so you may see them in passing, but you won't really interact with them in terms of your activities or eating together. The Maple Leaf group will be together for their activities by themselves and for dinner. So you may see them in passing as you're walking through Minga Lodge, but you'll be together as the Maple Leaf group. In the top right corner, you'll see an example of the beds inside the cabin. So they are bunk beds, and all of our beds are outfitted with mosquito netting, and all of the cabins fit between 2 to 6 people per cabin. And again, they're separated by gender. And in the bottom right is another photo of one of the dining pavilions. We already discussed meals, but like I said, all of our meals are prepared in-house by Meetawee chefs and can accommodate virtually any dietary restriction. So if you do need to, if you think you may have forgotten anything on your application, or you'd like to let us know of something else, you can either go back into the application and edit it, or send me an email and I can pass that information on to our team. So on to your experience in the Amazon. What will you be doing? So you'll be spending a lot of time in your community. So you'll have a chance to visit a local community and get a chance to interact with community members, learn more about their daily life, ask them questions. They'll ask you questions as well. It's a really great bonding opportunity between you and another person that you may not have had a chance to meet. So you'll have your cultural guides there as well as translators, so you can ask questions amongst each other. You'll also get a chance to see education in the past. So this is actually a picture of a classroom. This is typical in the Amazon. So as you can see, it is rickety, it is old. There are no windows or doors, and there isn't a lot of light. There's also a tin roof. So when it rains, and it does rain quite a bit in the Amazon, it is very hard to hear and not a very conducive learning experience for students. So over the past decade and more, students like yourself have been able to help community members and work beside community members to build schools and build different projects that community members are looking to build. And you have been able to take education like this and turn it into this. So this is actually a classroom that students like yourself have built, helped to build in one of the communities in the Amazon. So as you can see, it is sturdier and it is larger. There are doors and windows, and it's more conducive to learning. So you could be working on a project like this. You'll also get a chance to join a Minga. So a Minga is probably not a word that you've heard of, but the translation, the loose translation of it is the coming together of people to finish a goal or have a common goal. So the story goes that Mark and Craig Heelberger, who are the co-founders of We, were in Ecuador, and they were trying to finish a school project, and they didn't think they could finish it, and they were very disheartened by that. So they told the community leader, and the community leader went out into the middle of the community and just yelled, "Tomorrow we will have a Minga." And then she went back to her home. The next day, Mark and Craig went back to the community, and the entire community was there at the build project to help. And in the end, they ended up finishing the project before Mark and Craig left. So it just shows you the power of people and coming together. So you'll get a chance to join a Minga. You'll get a chance to help community members on a project that they are working on and work alongside them for this common goal. But before you can do that, you do have to go through Build Site Safety 101. So when you first come onto the build site, there will be a community foreman who will be there to tell you exactly what needs to be done, and will tell you how to do these safely and how to be safe on the build site. All building gear is provided, all safety gear is provided, such as hard hats, rubber gloves, rubber boots, steel toe covers, face masks if needed. The only thing you need to bring is your enthusiasm and willingness to help out. If there's any activity or project that is a little difficult or you don't think it's something that you would be able to do, you can let the community foreman and the facilitators know, and they'll be able to find different activities for you to do so you are staying involved in the project. Because you're going to be in the jungle, you'll get a chance to do a jungle hike. So your jungle guides will take you on a guided tour around Minga Lodge, and they'll be able to point out some of the indigenous flora and fauna. Some of these trees and plants have been in the Amazon and have been growing for hundreds of years. And this is actually a picture of one of the trees near Minga Lodge. So the man you see in the center is actually 6 feet tall. So that gives you an idea of how big these trees are. You'll also get a chance to do a day in the life and visit Don Vargas. Don Vargas is a community member in one of the local communities in the Amazon, and he has worked tirelessly over the past decade in order to bring clean water and healthcare access to everybody in the Amazon. So you'll get a chance to hear his story and the reason why he's so passionate about it, and you'll get a chance to visit his farm and try some of the local food that he grows. He grows so many types of fresh fruit, it is ridiculous, and it is delicious. So you'll get a chance to hear his story and what his life is like. Speaking of food, you'll also get a chance to visit a cacao farm. Cacao is a very popular resource in the Amazon, and you'll get a chance to visit the farm, learn more about chocolate making, and as well do some chocolate tasting. As of last September, Meadowy has actually started producing chocolate from our cacao farmers in the Amazon. So you'll get a chance to try some of this chocolate that is actually world renowned and has actually won some awards so far. So you can try some, purchase some, and yeah, it's delicious. I can't have enough of it. You'll also get a chance to visit the WE ALC, which is the WE Agricultural Learning Center. So this is a new project that we have started in the Amazon to try and bring attention to sustainable farming. So you'll get a chance to learn more about sustainable farming in the Amazon and farming practices in the Amazon. And you'll get a chance to participate in a tree planting. So you'll be planting indigenous trees and indigenous fruits, which will grow and be able to feed hundreds of people in the Amazon. While you're there, you'll also get a chance to learn more about the traditions of the Amazon. So the Amazon, the communities that are in the Amazon have been there for hundreds of years. So you'll get a chance to learn more about some of the things that they have done over the past 100 years and some of the traditions that they still carry on. You'll get a chance to visit a local shaman and participate in a traditional ceremony. And you'll also get a chance to try your hand at traditional weapons training. So you'll get a chance to throw spears and darts and blow darts as well at a target. Usually it's a fruit that is on a stick a little further away. So you'll get a chance to try and see if you can hit the target. Turning your experience into action. So at the end of dinner, just before you head off to bed, your facilitators will spend some time going through some modules with you. And this is a great way to debrief on some of the things that you've learned over the past day. And you can share your experiences with the greater group. So if you are learning about cacao and sustainable farming, that night you'll learn more about the history behind sustainable farming and learn more about why it's so important in the Amazon and share your opinions and thoughts with the greater greater group. You'll also get a chance to do leadership modules and hone your leadership skills with your facilitators. And one of the really cool things you'll get to do is action planning. So we are very passionate about action planning at Meadowy. And what it is you come up with a goal that you would like to achieve when you get back home, and your facilitators will help you come up with actions on how to achieve your goal. So over the next, while you're in the Amazon, you will get a chance to work on this plan and be able to ensure that you are able to reach your goal when you get back home. So if you have any questions once you get back home about your action plan or have any questions on how to move forward with your action plan, you can definitely reach out to me and I can either help you or pass you on to someone else in our organization that will be able to help you. So that is what I have for your presentation and your experience in the Amazon. Are there any other questions at this time?
Anything? Okay, a question, Prasha, is that do we have to bring our own towels, say for showering and that sort of stuff when at the end of the day, or are those things provided by the lodge?
Yeah, so I always recommend bringing a towel. There's usually towels there, but with the number of people that are there, I always travel with like a smaller towel. Towels will be provided, but it's always best just to bring one, a small one if you're walking around and you have like you're sweaty or you just want to wipe down. It's always good to have a small one with you. But larger towels will be provided at Minga Lodge.
Any other questions, parents?
I arrived late, so I didn't see any specific clothing.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about them wearing loose trousers, nothing tight fitting like tights or tight jeans or skinny jeans or anything like that. If they want, we said, you know, they can wear jeans, but it's advisable that they wear something like that's like a dry fit kind of fabric, because when you're in the Amazon, it's pretty humid and it can be damp as well. And so you want to wear something that's breathable and that will keep you cool, because it's going to be hot in the Amazon for sure. And also we said probably they should have about 2 to 3 pairs of pants in addition to what they're traveling in. So whatever they're traveling in, they'll just use that for travel purposes, and then the others they'll wear. And then for their jerseys, again, loose fitting jerseys. As you can see from the pictures, most of the young people were wearing short sleeve jerseys. Didn't look as though anything was much long sleeve in there. But so I recommended that one for each day, because you're gonna want to change your jersey every day kind of thing. And they're not really washing facilities there. So I think having a jersey for each day is recommended.
Yeah.
Yes. No, nothing on wheels, either a duffel bag or a hiking backpack, because everybody has to be responsible for transporting their own piece of luggage. And so you don't want to have something that's overly heavy and cumbersome to move, because you're going in a bus and then you're going in a boat, in a canoe kind of thing, a pirogue type thing, right? Up the Amazon, and you have to be able to move with your stuff. So backpack is actually probably ideal because you can put it on your back. So like, I don't have a hiking backpack, but I have a duffel bag that isn't too large that I can't manage it myself. And then what I thought I would also take is just a regular school backpack that I would take as my carry-on on the plane. And then I could put whatever I wanted, like my travel documents and all that sort of stuff into that. Because I'm not, and then as far as money goes, well, for you kids, you all can have a purse inside of the small backpack or something like that. If you can carry it like that, or you can carry one of those crossbody bags that you can put your stuff in or whatever, something like that. But you want to make sure that whatever you're taking, you can manage to carry on your own. You don't want to be able to be so heavily burdened down with something that you're struggling with it or whatever.
Yeah, but when you say manage, you're talking basically airport to bus to boat.
Yes, yes,
yes,
yes, and the thing. No, but you still want to be. I mean, you still want to be able to manage it, right? So, for example, like when you're packing and that sort of stuff,
yeah.
My recommendation it would be like with your pants is to roll them, because you know, and maybe girls for your underwear, what you might want to do is put your undies in a Ziploc bag and put that inside of there, that kind of thing. Remember, you have to have socks because you're going to be wearing boots or you're going to be wearing running shoes. So you need a pair of socks for each day, because socks are something you're going to want to change. It's going to start to smell or whatever, right? And the same thing with your jerseys. If you roll those kinds of jerseys, they're not going to crumple or anything, so it doesn't matter, and it takes up less space, and then you don't feel as though you're that cumbersome. Because you're not taking Are you taking slippers? Is that what you're taking? Because, or like when you're back at the lodge on an evening, are you going to be wearing slippers or something like that, Prasha, or is it always closed shoes?
It's mostly closed-toe shoes. You can wear slippers or flip-flops to the inside your rooms or to the washrooms, which are also located in your rooms. But when you're going outside or walking around, I would highly recommend wearing closed-toed shoes or running shoes. Yeah, just to make sure you're protected.
Okay. And then again, sort of making sure that they're bug free. Okay. Yeah. I had contacted my personal GP, and she had recommended that I contact our insect vector section of the Ministry of Agriculture here in Trinidad with regards to malaria. And so the recommendation is that we get malaria tablets. Now that's totally up to everybody. As I sent out to all parents in the email, people that go to Ecuador from me to we on a regular basis never do take malaria tablets. Am I correct, Prasha?
Some do, some don't. It does vary because it is more for personal preference. But yeah, it's almost a 50-50 split from what I've experienced.
So again, parents, it's your preference what you wish to do. I've given you all the information that you need if you wish to pursue that. Or my personal preference is I'm taking bug spray. That's my personal preference. I'm going to take bug spray and I'm going to make sure that I'm replenishing myself and whatever, and that's how I'm dealing with it. But that's my preference. You know, as parents, you need to decide what you want to do for your kids. Okay.
The link for this presentation.
Prasha will send it out by email to all of the parents. Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any recommendation, especially because
yes, not to leave it at home. Anything that's I mean, wear your watch if you're constantly wearing a watch, and if you have a pair of earrings in your ear and you're okay with leaving the earrings in your ear all the time. Like I will sleep with my earrings, my jewelry on or whatever, and this chain that I have on with my cross that stays on all the time. So I mean, but to say that I'm going to be walking with jewelry or no, don't bring those things, because you're not there on a fashion show or anything like that. You're there to engage and to be involved in the community and the things that are going on. So you're going to be getting dirty. You are going to be getting dirty. It's not going to be getting dirty all the time, but you are going to be getting dirty. So the focus of this trip is volunteerism, getting involved with the community, learning about the community, that kind of thing. It's not a trip where you're going shopping and whatever. That's not the purpose of this trip. Girls, do you all have any questions? You all are the only ones left there. Everybody else has disappeared. No? Well, I'm going to be getting together with the students that are going before we go. We're going to have our own little chat with Mr. Wiley and myself. Mr. Wiley is the other teacher that's going to be going. And so we're going to have a session before we leave, so sometime soon we'll get together one lunchtime and we'll just talk about our expectations with regards to how you conduct yourself while you're on the trip, that sort of stuff.
What is the organizer's policy at the schools in the event of
Okay, did you hear that, Prasha?
No, it was breaking up a little bit.
Okay, so one question is what is the organization's policy and the school's policy with regards to if there is some kind of natural disaster or something like that occurs while we're in Ecuador, and we're cut off, so whatever, and how are parents notified? What's with regards to communication? So maybe you can go over that for the parents again, please.
Yeah, great question. So if there is a disaster that happens and the group is not able to contact, you're not in communication, your facilitators will still have their satellite phones, so those are able to work virtually anywhere. So they are in constant communication with their country team via satellite phone, and they also have access to our risk management team here in Toronto as well. So if there's anything that happens in any of the countries that we work in, Our country teams will notify our risk management team if they're not aware of it already, and there will be a plan in place. So we have emergency protocols in place for virtually any situation. But what we will do first is we will look towards the embassy and see what their recommendations are and follow our protocol as well. So if the recommendation by let's say the recommendation by the embassy is to to contact the embassy first and let them know that there is a group there, we will do that first. Our risk management team will reach out to each of the parents individually as well as the school and let them know of the situation, what is, where the group is and how they are doing and what we are doing in order to get them home safely. So our first step is to make sure that the group is safe and together, and moving forward, our risk management team will be updating you on what happens from that point on.
And Prasha, as far as I recall, Stephen said that the facilitators, i.e. Stephen and Pilar, they will be sort of sending daily updates to parents on what the group is doing and that sort of stuff, because we personally, individually won't have Wi-Fi contact, so we won't be able to communicate with families or anybody at home, but that's going to be done by the meeting group, correct?
Yeah, so what will happen is Stephen and Pilar will, every 2 to 3 days, they'll send out an update to me, and that will have a blurb about what this group has been doing, and hopefully include some pictures. Sometimes the Wi-Fi network, they use rocket sticks for our office in the Mingle Lodge. Sometimes it's not that great at sending pictures, but we'll try our best to get pictures of the group. But every 2 to 3 days, I would say, you will get an update from me that will be passed on, from the facilitators that will be sent to me, and then I will send that to all of the parents and emergency contacts. So it's not daily because we don't have constant Wi-Fi connection at Mingle Lodge, so it's every couple of days that there is access to Wi-Fi to our facilitators and our staff. But you will get updates for sure.
Does that satisfy your question? To the best, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Any other questions, parents? Okay. Well, I don't think we have any more questions, Prasha, so thank you very much for this session. It's been really informative.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll pause the recording and then I can post it on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow morning and send out the link to all the parents. And if there's any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And by the end of next week, I will also be sending out a package to the group that has final details and some reminders or quick tips that may help in packing as well. So keep an eye out for that. By the end of next week, you should have all of the details on your trip in one package.
Great. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Bye.